Hello, and welcome to this one layer challenge video that you guys voted for on Twitter. And can I just say that y'all did me dirty because this was very hard. Like, one of the hardest things I've ever done, like, digitally and art-wise. It took me like a day or so to kind of think of something to draw / how I was going to draw it. I knew that I could have done something cartoony and cell shading wise, but I thought that would be a little too easy, so I didn't. And I haven't sat down and watched any of the one layer challenge videos. I know they exist, but I haven't watched them because I didn't want to be influenced by the way they did their video or their drawing or the techniques that they used. I kind of wanted to go into this blind and kind of figure out everything on my own. So the most challenging and difficult part of this whole thing was trying to figure out a way to color, because the way I normally do my digital art or the way I color, I use some of the default brushes that are in Clip Studio Paint. They are the watercolor brushes, and those brushes kind of pick up whatever is underneath them. So if I were to go over, like, I don't know, a part of the eye with the watercolor brush, then it would just smear the gray, not gray, but black, and it would make it gray. So I knew I could not use my regular coloring technique, and I guess that's the whole point of this challenge, is to challenge yourself and figure out new techniques and new ways of doing stuff. So what I ended up doing was I first did a sketch. I was using a reference photo that I found on Pinterest. And I did a portrait because I knew that's kind of like my comfort zone, which I know it's always bad to just stay in your comfort zone, but since this was a challenge video, I wanted to do something that I was a little confident in doing, so that's why I did a portrait. But what I ended up doing is doing a sketch. As you can see, that's what I'm doing now. And then I hit the little transparency, like keep the transparency button on the side there above where the layers are. I don't know what it's called. I don't know how to say it or what it's pronounced. I think it's lock transparency or whatever. And then I took a light pink color and I went over all of this, which you're getting ready to see, because that way the sketch layer is light and I could go over top of it with my coloring. So what I ended up doing for the coloring is I took the airbrush tool, which you'll see right here, and I kind of laid a base color over the skin. I added a little bit of blush, and I knew that the airbrush tool was like, I don't know if it's the only tool, but I just know it's got transparency to it, so I could still see the lines and the sketch underneath of what I was coloring. And I know in Photoshop you can set your brush to like multiply and all that other stuff, so I wonder if doing this in Photoshop would have been easier. But anyway, so I was trying to figure out how to do the hair. So I just went around and selected all of the hair, and I used a red, peachy, kind of salmon color for the hair. And I would have liked for the hair to be a little darker, like more vibrant, but I didn't want the lines to completely disappear. I still wanted to be able to see the lines underneath. And then I think one of the hardest, most challenging parts was trying to figure out how to shade and color the top of her shirt. So it's not my favorite thing about this. I don't really think it looks all that good, but I did what I had to do, and this challenge was very hard. So after I laid down sort of like a base layer of color and how I sort of liked everything, I went over the base sketch, or I guess that's what it is, the sketch, with the real pencil again, and that's what I started out with. And this time I went over it in black. And after I did all of this, I wanted to add a little bit of highlighting, and I was sort of figuring that out. I added a little on the nose, a little bit on the eyes to give them a little bit more life. And I was really struggling with highlighting the nose and the lips, which you'll see. But can I just say that this real pencil brush is my favorite brush in Clip Studio Paint. And I think I've said that before, but it looks just like a real pencil. And I do my sketches in this, I do my line work in this. I just love this brush a lot. And I started out with traditional art, and I like it because it has a traditional look, but I'm doing this digitally, and pretty sure I said that before as well. But yeah, I just love this pencil brush. If you don't use it, I recommend you use it, because it's the best. One of the other things that I really struggled with coloring on this was the hair. I don't think I really got as much depth as I wanted to, but because I felt so limited, well, I was very limited, I only had one layer to work on, but I mean, I think it turned out okay. I just wished I could have got more depth and I could have got more highlighting out of the hair, but I think it turned out okay. What I ended up doing was, as you can see here, I just used like quick thin strokes to simulate shadow and highlighting. Later on I added the highlighting, and I actually used a green color. I've been really loving green and pink lately, I guess because they're complementary colors, but I was never really a big pink fan. I don't know why. But yeah. I wanted to add a pop of green, so I added some green highlights to her hair. I added green highlights to her lips, to her nose, and on her eyes as well. And then finally, for the background, I selected all around her. I used a little selection tool. I selected around her, not selection tool, but lasso tool. And then I set the select to subtract. And then I grabbed the selection tool that's a square, and I kind of made lines going across the background. Use the gradient tool to add some yellow coming from the bottom up, and then I got a vibrant light purple shade and went from the top down, so it kind of goes from yellow to purple in the background, and I really liked how that turned out. And overall, I really like how this whole thing turned out. And I have a question for you. Let me know how you think it turned out. And if you haven't done the one layer challenge, I challenge you to do the one layer challenge, because this challenge is very challenging. And if you have done the one layer challenge, let me know down below and I'll go check out your video, because I haven't watched any, because like I said, I didn't want to learn other people's techniques. I wanted to go into this blind because it is a challenge after all, and I didn't want it to be really easy, and I did kind of want it to be a challenge just to see what I could do with only one layer, because normally I use a billion layers. But yeah, I challenge you guys to do the 1 layer challenge. Tell me below if you've done it so I can watch it. And also I added a few new prints in my online store, so if you're interested in that, you can definitely check it out below. I'll put the link in the description box. And I think that's it for this video. There's still a little bit of footage left, but I'm gonna go on that note, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful new year. It's 17 days in. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I hope you guys are having a wonderful January. And I will see you in my next video, and make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, because on Twitter, I ask you guys all the time what you would like to see from my next videos, and you guys get to vote on what you see. So, yeah, follow me there. Follow me on Instagram where I post sketches, work in progress shots, and all of that jiggity jazz. So until then, I will see you next time, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Bye!